Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Indiginerd Project. I'm your host, Jim Ruel, and I'm missing the finals of the NCAA tournament just for you guys. So the game's going on right now, and by the time this is posted, my prediction will, well, we already know the results of the game. So my prediction is going to be Louisville. I really feel them on this one. I did my research. I know what I'm talking about. But my prediction's going to be Michigan. Found out today that Captain America will be coming out in April 2014, 1 year away from now. Very exciting. Well, the really cool part is I read Robert Redford. I think that's all that needs to be said. Robert Redford's in this. Of course I'm going to go see it. I liked the first one. I was surprised. And his big thing is a shield, a big +10 blocking shield. Hey, if this was World of Warcraft, he'd make a hell of a tank. But as a tank, he should be able to hold aggro. So that's my one question. Something I didn't see in the first movie was him taunting the bad guy. You have to be able to taunt the bad guy so they keep attacking your shield so that you can let your DPS do all the damage and your heals are safe while you hold aggro. I must say, the list of movies coming out in 2014 is looking pretty awesome. We have the final conclusion of The Hobbit. Another Hunger Games movie is coming out. Obviously, this sequel is coming out. Another X-Men movie is coming out. Wicked, if you like the musical, which Pinocchio is coming out in 2014. Guillermo del Toro is coming out with his version of Pinocchio. That should be pretty cool. I like pretty much all his stuff. They're coming out with another Godzilla. I didn't really like that one remake a few years back because they tried to make Godzilla real. That's not what we liked about Godzilla. We liked that it was kind of like pro wrestling, where these guys are just wrestling around and there's silly drama going on, and it's just overly melodramatic, and it was awesome, and we loved it back when I was 8 years old. So let's bring back that. Let's do a retro Godzilla, please. Give me my old school Godzilla, and we will come. And bring back Gamera, please. If you are gonna make a real Godzilla, at least make it as good as Cloverfield or better. I have a link to somebody on IMDb wrote a list, has a running list of movies that are coming out in 2014. Pretty cool. This came out last week. I didn't get a chance to blog about it, but Bubba Watson posted on YouTube a demonstration of a hovercraft golf cart. It only cost $20,000. That doesn't seem like a whole lot of money to have something as cool as a hovercraft. You don't have to just use this sucker for golf. There's other reasons. I could show up at MacArthur Park, just down the road here, and be the ultimate new pimp of MacArthur Park. It's kind of a ghetto park. Anyway, I would be the pimp coming in on my hovercraft until someone jacked my hovercraft from me, and then things would suck. But hey, for that one shining moment, and I'd have to show up wearing Megamind's Black Mamba outfit. Yeah, if you're gonna show up in a hovercraft, pretty much you need to go over the top in your costuming. We got prom coming up. Hey, if you can convince your prom committee to host the prom near a body of water, that's right. You don't show up in a limousine, you show up in a god darn hovercraft and blow the heck out of everyone else in the water. They'll make a nerd king. Finally, we'll get a nerd prom king when you show up with your hovercraft, and all the ladies will be like, woo, hovercraft. It would easily cut 20 minutes off your commute if you live in Venice. It would be handy in New Orleans, something about levees and hurricanes. The swamp people, the stars of swamp people, they need a pimp ride. They're like famous now. They should have a hovercraft to go and hunt down alligators. In case you aren't aware, I love sports dramas. The Natural, Hoosiers, Bull Durham, Invincible, Moneyball, Goon. If you haven't seen Goon, it's on Instant Watch on your Netflix. Of course, later this week, 42 is coming out, the story of Jackie Robinson. Over the weekend, I saw Undefeated, a documentary about the story of an inner-city Memphis high school football team. It makes Precious look cheap and contrived. The best documentary I've seen, I think, since the last time I said I saw an awesome documentary. It's a very inspiring movie. I watched it, I'm like, man, I'm not doing enough for humanity. I feel so inspired. I'm gonna go out and write the best fart joke you've ever heard. Make my Indian people proud. That's right. Throw down the Indian humor. Well, the urban Indian humor. Well, technically, suburban Indian humor. It's a colorblind fart joke. So do yourself a favor, watch this movie. It's on Netflix streaming. Vladimir Putin ran into some protesters in Germany. He got flashed. I've never seen him lose that stoic look. And that's pretty much how you need to get attention on an international scale. This protest was about Russia's detainment and imprisonment of the punk rock group Pussy Riot. It's basically the vagina monologues set to music. And also they call Vladimir Putin a dictator. Anyway, I would love to see a whole series of world leaders being flashed and seeing their reaction. Margaret Thatcher passed away today. The Iron Lady, as she was known, not to be confused with the Iron Man, although she did repel an invasion of the Falkland Islands. It's basically a fight over penguin habitat, never mind those vast offshore oil reserves. No one would ever start a conflict over something like that, like oil. I would have something more substantive to say about Margaret Thatcher, after all, she was the Prime Minister of Great Britain for 11 years. You have to keep in mind, she was Prime Minister in the 80s, and during the 80s, I was too preoccupied solving Rubik's Cubes and watching Ali Sheedy movies. I liked her in The Breakfast Club. Dandruff and all. She could short my circuit anytime. Alright, that concludes this episode of the Indiginerd Project. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Please also subscribe to the YouTube channel. Love to see the subscriptions going up. We're almost at 50. We're one away from 50. Thank you all and have a good morning.